Welcome to Is It Beer Yet Video Edition. I am Matt, and we are continuing our 13 beers for Halloween with beer number 12. And as you might be able to tell from the label, maybe not so much from the name, you might be able to guess what this is, but let's get to the name first. It's called Trick or Treats. And this is, or I hope it is, we're going to find out. The intention is it's a candy corn beer. The style I have, or I don't even know if you call that a style. I don't think I can, unless it's a candy corn beer competition. I'm not sure I could enter this as its own style, but I love when I do that. Oh, I've been joking for like 2 years on Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights podcast that I was going to do something like this, and I finally did it this year. As far as style goes, actually, since we're talking about style, the beer itself, before any candy corn flavoring, is a blonde ale. Real simple blonde ale. Maybe a little bit of adjustment on ones I've done before. And then the candy corn flavoring for this particular one comes from, all right, let me tell you what it was going to be. It was going to be candy corn infused vodka. I was going to fortify each bottle at bottling. I didn't, for a specific reason, which we'll get into closer to when we talk about bottling, I think, why I didn't when it came to bottling. So the name, Trick or Treats, that comes from the Halloween Horror Nights Haunted House Trick or Treat, which is this year. And when I think of the Trick or Treat is based off the movie from, 2000, early 2000s. I want to say 2003. That might be too early, but it's early 2000s. And the name Trick or Treat makes me think of trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating makes me think of candy. And what's the most famous, or to some people, infamous Halloween candy? Candy corn. That's where the name comes from. The style comes from, I've been threatening my co-host for 2 years to do this. So let's get to, I have pictures and videos. It's all kind of mixed in. And then we'll talk about where the candy corn flavor, if it comes out, where that's actually coming from. So first we have the grain bill. Super simple, like I said, blonde ale. It's 2 pounds, 4 ounces of 2-row pale malt. Then we have a couple specialty malts, 2.5 ounces of white wheat malt, 2 ounces of Crystal 15, and then 0.8 ounces of Carapils. Then the hops, fairly simple as well. 0.05 Columbus hops at 60 minutes, 0.05 Cascade hops at 20 minutes, 0.05 Columbus and 0.05 Cascade hops at 10 minutes, and then the final addition, 0.05 Cascade at 1 minute. Then we get to the boil, and here's me playing with time-lapse video again. Here's a time-lapse of the boil. This is where I realized I can shoot video with the camera light on. Wish I'd known that the 11 beers before this. Then we have the first hop addition, second hop addition, the Whirlflock tablet, the third hop addition, and then the final hop addition. Then I kill the heat and I cover it just to bring it in. I don't keep it covered for very long. That's so in case it splashes and sloshes a little bit as I'm carrying it, it doesn't splash the boiling hot water, or wort at this point doesn't splash up on my skin. So of course then I chilled it down to about 70 degrees, and then I pitched 4 grams of Safale USO5, and I fermented it for 10 days. Then cold crashed it for 2 days before bottling, and then in those 2 days, I took a half cup of candy corn, put that in a mason jar, and then put 3/4 cup of vodka on top of that and let the candy corn infuse into that vodka. Then after that, just before bottling, I strained it out and had some clear, very orange candy corn infused vodka. And I was going to put a half a shot of that into each bottle. But then, let's see, I guess that's about all from my notes, and I can tell this story. Then I realized I should probably check what the ingredients in candy corn are and see what fermentable sugars are in it. And lo and behold, you have sugar, honey, right off the bat there's 2, corn syrup, which I think is to an extent, maybe not so much. There was corn sugar listed in there. My point is 3 fermentable sugars, which means along with the carbonation tablet I was putting in each of these bottles, I was also adding additional sugar, which means I was potentially making bottle bombs, or actually more to the style of, not that making bottles that explode isn't important to not do, but more along with that, the style, I was kind of taking away all the flavors of the candy corn, which made me think by the time this is done conditioning, even if it didn't explode, which I don't know how much sugars actually would have made it in the vodka that would have caused that problem, but the flavors I'm pretty sure would have been gone, or at least there's a very big chance of that. So I did some super quick research, left the beer inside the refrigerator to cold crash for a little longer, and I found a company called it's OOO Flavors. I don't know if you're supposed to say it O Flavors or what, but it's 3 O's in flavors. They have I kid you not, every flavor you can probably think of. That's a food flavor. Maybe even some that aren't. I really didn't get all through it. My point is they had a candy corn flavor. So I ordered that. Amazon Prime. Thank you for getting it here in 2 days. And then I did some super quick experimentation with a blonde ale, a store-bought blonde ale, to see how much I would put in to get a candy corn taste without overdoing it. And I came up with 5 drops. And here's a video of me putting those drops inside those bottles before bottling, and then I bottled the beer with that flavoring, and I really don't know what to expect here. So let's find out after we look at the label. And super simple front label, as you can see, that's a mug of beer with the candy corn levels or whatever the colors in the typical sequence. I've seen candy corns that switch to yellow and orange, but yellow and orange are the ones I bought this year. That's what I based that sequence off of. Over on the left-hand side of the label, there are 2 types of people in this world. Those that love candy corn and Nazis. Which one are you? I think that goes without any explanation. Inspired by the Halloween candy-loving Sam from Halloween Horror Nights 28 Trick or Treat House, Trick or Treats featured the crown jewel, that would have been funny, that would have been a good typo, crown jewel of Trick or Treat scores, of course, candy corn. Then my serving suggestion is pour into glass and eat candy corn. And while that's not a typo, because the E rolls, or somehow I split the line break between the letter, of course there's always some kind of screw up on this label. That one's actually kind of funny, and I know exactly, it's obvious how I did that. On the right side of the label, Trick or Treats is a light-bodied beer with a unique adjunct, candy corn. Each bottle is fortified with 0.7 ounces of candy corn-infused vodka to give a familiar, yet not overpowering taste. It's a gimmick beer, and obviously not for everyone's taste, but there's not denying its Halloween inspiration. Of course, that should be no, and I think we've gotten to the point of knowing I cannot take the time to proofread for some bizarre reason on these labels. But that was, obviously, I just told the story how I was going to use the candy corn, or the vodka. Yeah, candy corn infused vodka. Made the labels, but in the end, it's the flavoring. So this one, of all these, I'm most anxious to try. And look, I found it. It was in the wrong drawer. I'm a very stubborn creature of habit, apparently, and if it's not in the right drawer, I didn't find it. So I found it. Well, my wife found it and showed me where it was. All right, let's check carbonation first here. There we go. That's a level of like that bang, the hiss I wanted with the other ones. Okay, I've now edited most of these videos, and you cannot see. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're about to have an overflow. This is really carbonated. This might beat out Vamp IPA or Vam IPA, but no, okay, it's not as that. Wow, it wasn't. We weren't in real danger of a blow off, but we're getting close. Okay, well, the effervescence seemed to stop. So there's a gold color. It's a gold blonde. Head retention is actually really nice on this. The aroma is just beer. I'm not getting the candy corn, and that candy corn flavoring was strong. I'm surprised I'm not getting that in the aroma, but I'm not. In fact, all I'm getting is a really simple blonde ale. It's actually a very pleasant beer aroma. It's when you say beer, before you start thinking craft beers and styles and whatnot, at least I should say when I think of that, I think of one initial look and one initial aroma, and that's the aroma. Kind of the look. It could be clearer. Didn't find this, and this is probably half and half chill haze, half some kind of maybe sediment or maybe even yeast activity, because this is just put in the fridge, not even 24 hours. That's how close to room conditioning this is. So the longer it would sit, the colder it would get, the more this would settle out. But I don't care about that for the tasting. Okay, now I'm getting a candy corn aroma now that the head dissipated. And I thought that might be part of the case. It's actually really prominent now. It's not strong. It's not overwhelming. I still smell beer, but I certainly smell candy corn. So here we go. Okay, I'm laughing because I will say on the palate, on the initial sip, nothing but beer. The second I stop, actually let it flow across my palate and let everything settle and taste, it's candy corn. It's almost like now the aftertaste is like nothing but candy corn. I'm going to try it again. Yep, you do not taste any candy corn as you're drinking it. The second the finish hits, I mean, the second all that beer leaves, it's candy corn. I don't know what I expected in terms of when the flavors would hit me, but I'm happy that it's not so overpowering that it's like drinking a melted candy corn, and not so under added that you can't taste it. I would like more. But I admittedly played it super safe on this because I did not want it to be overdone. Not getting any specific hops, and we weren't super light on the hops, but we also weren't going for a pale ale or IPA or anything like that. So I guess that stands to reason. Yep, that's about what I was hoping it would be. Maybe a little less on the candy corn, but it's not too much, and it's a novelty beer. I would not have more than one of these. I'd have one out of pure curiosity. And yeah, there's a little biscuity flavor to it, which I didn't get there until that last sip, and that's probably due to the youngness of the beer, which is nice too. So it's an interesting beer. I would make this again for a Halloween party, and I would try something different though. I've seen a lot of people, now that I've said I was doing this, a lot of people have tagged me in different Facebook and Twitter videos of breweries making them and making candy corn beers, and they make it based on the flavor profile. Some, actually I shouldn't say all of them, one that caught my eye, a couple that caught my eye actually, they make it based on the flavor of candy corn. They try to match that with other adjuncts that, other than using candy corn, I would imagine probably because of all of those fermentable sugars. That's my guess, I don't know. That's something I'd like to try. Didn't even consider that being a possibility, so maybe next year, but at the very least, this will be a fun one to make for a Halloween party. Oh, excuse me there. And this is actually starting to clear up. I don't know how well it's coming up on camera. The more it sits, which means it's getting warmer. So it is mostly chill haze, that's good to know too. It's not so much any kind of sediment. But I would make this again for a Halloween party. And that's about it. Maybe if I, for some reason, were a brewer, maybe I'd make it for the brewery for just Halloween for October. But this is not something you're even going to want to look for all year round. But it's, I think, a success as much of a novelty beer can be. So see if I get one more, now that it is warming up, see if I get any more out of it. No, pretty much the same. That little biscuity there is barely there, but it's beer than candy corn. And that's not much more than that. And that's what it's supposed to be. So I'll give that a point. What does that make that? That is I think 9 out of 13. I'll have to go back and watch all the videos for my final wrap up to see how many that actually is. But a success. It's not my favorite, but it's not a failure. It's a candy corn beer. It's not a whole lot to it. So that's it for this episode. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the little bell to get notifications when our next videos come up. Give the video a like, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, post them below. I'll get to a response as fast as I can. I'll be back tomorrow with beer number 13. Can't believe we actually got through this, but we're not there yet. One more to do. That'll be tomorrow. Until then, I will say thank you for watching, and I'll see you in that next episode.
Thank you for watching Is It Beer Yet Video Edition. Is It Beer Yet is part of the neozaz.com Internet Entertainment Network. Visit neozaz.com for all our podcasts, including the original Is It Beer Yet Home Brewing audio series. Follow our social media pages for more on this project and all the beers and brewing we do at neozaz.com. We're Neozaz Podcasts on Facebook, Neozaz on Instagram, and at Neozaz on Twitter. If you'd like to learn how you can help support the work we do and get access to exclusive content, check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/neozaz. And you can always send us a message directly at the email address podcast@neozaz.com. Thanks again for watching.